Hi.
Hi.
Hey.
So this year was full of movies that were supposed to be good but weren't.
Last year.
And movies that were supposed to be shit but kind of weren't.
Yeah.
And a lot of movies that were just kind of meh.
You know, I think there are certain movies that people say were supposed to be shit, but that's just because the internet's a terrible place.
That's true. But there was also some movies that were, according to the internet, supposed to be shit and were just kind of meh.
Yeah.
They weren't shit. They weren't good. They weren't shit.
I mean, some movies that could have been good, but really, really weren't. Fifth Wave. It's a great young adult novel series with a great... It's an alien movie.
I didn't read.
And it turned out fucking awful. One of the worst movies of the year.
Cool.
Gods of Egypt. We all know that is terrible. Although that was probably going to be terrible out the gate. But the director's a good director. So
who was the director for that one?
I can't remember what his name was. But
he's good.
He's good. I'm losing all the names.
Yeah, I mean, I think that one really boils down to, for starters, casting director.
Yeah.
Because Gods of Egypt, let's make them white.
Yep. That's like that time Megyn Kelly said that Jesus was a white man. Why do they have to make him black?
or that time that the Prince of Persia movie happened, and I got a great name for a Pokemon. I named my Persian because it is white, Jake, after Jake Gyllenhaal.
Well, and people could argue over Batman versus Superman, whether that was supposed to be good or not. It was fucking supposed to be good. It's Batman versus Superman.
You know what? Okay, so I saw something recently. It was kind of a retrospective on movies of the year, and I gotta say I agreed with this point. The actual Batman versus Superman was fucking awesome to see on the big screen, right up until Martha, but you know. But that was, you know, if they had actually made a movie out of that like we were promised, it would have been a fucking great movie.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, because the whole, like, watching Batman and Superman beat the fuck out of each other, that was what we paid admission for.
Yeah. I think it gets a little bit worse of a rap than it actually is. Like, it's by no means a good movie, but it's not the worst movie of the year.
You know,
it's enjoyable in its own way.
We paid for Batman beating the fuck out of Superman. We did not pay for whatever the fuck Jesse Eisenberg was doing.
Hey, was Fantastic this year? Was that?
No, that was
last year. Okay,
that was the last year. Yeah, that was still fucking terrible, but it was a year prior, and it was. Don't even remind me about that. We went to see that. Why did we do that to ourselves?
Hey, the first act was great.
Yeah, the first act was.
I really liked the first act. After that, it just fell apart. And nobody expected Allegiant to be good. I still enjoyed Allegiant. It's the Divergent series.
Didn't see it.
I don't read.
What's stupid is it did the whole, like, it's 3 books, and they split the third book into 2 movies.
As they always do.
Of course they did.
But the last movie's canceled. And they're like...
Oh, it got canceled?
Yeah.
Shit.
So, like, we have 2.5 books worth of movies.
That's shitty.
Fucking great.
Yeah. It might become, like, a TV miniseries or something, but...
No.
I don't know. I just really like it because I really like the actress. Again, Shailene Woodley. I remembered that name. I just really like her. She's adorable.
She's okay.
And she's pretty cool. She's super progressive. So, X-Men Apocalypse. I actually haven't seen it yet, but I hear it's terrible. Yeah.
It's like, it's another one of those ones. It's got some big shoes to fill because Days of Future Past was actually really good.
Yeah. I think First Class is better.
I quite enjoyed First Class as well. Apocalypse could have been great, but I think there were so many missteps with it, right? It had potential. They didn't meet it.
It had potential, and then it had Ivan Ooze.
No, you know what? Like, as much as the Ivan Ooze thing is totally valid, Oscar Isaac as Apocalypse, it was another thing where he had potential, and they just kind of smacked it around with their dicks, and like, I don't know, it was bad.
TMNT Out of the Shadows, universally kind of panned, but all the nerds who love the cartoon love it. I really liked the movie, actually. Like, I didn't like the first one very much, but I really liked it, mainly because it reminded me about the cartoon.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there was so many firsts for that. Like, we've had plenty of Ninja Turtles movies since 1990, right? There's been a lot. But none until that one have had Krang, Bebop, Rocksteady.
Yeah.
Right? Those are 3 main things that are like, this is the shit from the fucking cartoon. This is what the fucking fans want. Because a lot of them are the fans of the cartoon. They didn't necessarily have the comics beforehand or anything. Like, I didn't discover the comics until way after the fact.
Same.
Right? I was primarily a fan of the cartoon. I mean, yes, I've gone back and I've enjoyed the shit out of the actual comics, and those, that's your baseline Turtles right there. That's some good shit. But, like, the cartoon was definitely what I remember most. And so bringing in those elements from the cartoon, whether or not they were handled the best, Krang could have been done maybe a little better. It's also really weird how between the trailers and between the actual film, the design of his fucking android body changed.
Yeah.
That
happens a lot, though.
Kind of odd.
Like, there's a bunch of stuff in the Rogue One trailer that wasn't even in the movie.
That's because reshoots.
Yeah.
That's because a lot of reshoots. According to the guy who played Krennic, there exists basically a completely different movie of Rogue One.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The first time I ever remember noticing that sort of thing, I must have been like 8. There was this movie about a parrot called Polly. And there was a joke in the trailer that I was like, lol, that's awesome. Of course, back then it was like, haha, or something, because lol wasn't a thing.
Yeah. Nobody lolled back in those days.
But that joke was nowhere in the movie. And I was like, what? Like, I was so confused. And I've been seeing that shit ever since.
I don't remember an exact moment when I started noticing that. Like, I know there were certain, like, there's always been stuff that I've been like, where was that in the movie, right?
Yeah.
And, it was before I knew anything about editing or, shit that ended up on the cutting room floor or whatnot. But yeah, that always bugged me when I noticed stuff like that.
Yeah.
And there's, movies that I was excited to see and I'm like, oh yeah, remember that part of the trailer where the fuck was that?
Yeah.
Where the fuck was that?
What else? Warcraft. I haven't seen it yet, but apparently it wasn't like the worst thing ever. It was probably one of the better video game movies, but it kind of fell flat. It had a lot of potential. There
was a lot of hype because...
I don't know anybody who actually saw it.
I know one person who saw it. No, I technically know 2 people because I technically know Jason. I'm pretty sure he saw it. But actually, maybe he didn't. I don't know if he did or not, considering the fact that, he used to work for Blizzard and Activision and then they... Yeah. So, I don't know maybe he didn't see it at a protest. I don't actually know. Jason, I don't actually know. Did you see it? Did you not? Fucking let me know. Anyway. Like... Among people who played the game, which of course there were a lot, right? There was a lot of hype because, hey, it's a fucking Warcraft movie. Fuck yeah, right? Mm-hmm. And from what I understand, it was a lot of just kind of meh.
Yeah.
I mean, I know I'm not going to get any enjoyment out of it because I don't give a fuck about the lore, the characters, the setting, the anything. I just don't care.
Yeah.
So I didn't bother watching it because I am not the target audience for that shit.
Yeah.
All right? And if I'm not the target audience, obviously I'm not going to fucking get it.
Yeah.
So I avoided that one, but the people that I talked to who do know what it's all about. I think Ben saw it too, actually.
Ben saw it?
He might have. He might have actually... Or he might have just read a synopsis. I don't know. I mean, you never know with Ben.
Yeah.
Sometimes he can visualize it better than the movie can make it, so I don't fucking know. But, yeah, he understood what was going on too, so...
This one could have gone both ways. Ghostbusters. Obviously, the internet didn't want it.
Oh, the internet was... And, it was very undeserved. Like... Half the people who watched the trailer were like, oh, yeah, and then, okay, I say half, maybe like 20%, because the rest of the people were like, dislike to fucking hell!
Yeah. But to be fair, the trailer was awful.
Like, the trailer was cut terribly.
Whoever, cut that better have been fired, because they don't know how to do the job.
Yeah.
Like, Sony can turn a terrible movie into a wonderful trailer. Mm-hmm. They're good at that. So...
Yeah. And I mean, like, the later trailers for it, they were okay, right? But...
Did you guys see the movie?
I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually just watched it again with my girlfriend.
I mean, there were parts that were okay, but largely it was just unimpressive.
Again, it's one of those movies where the first act was great, third act was really bad. It was just a mess, and it kind of just fell apart a little bit in the middle. I felt like a lot of the humor, either it just wasn't my humor, or it all fell flat.
Yeah.
I'm not much for the whole Saturday Night Live kind of stuff, and that's very much what it was.
Yeah, no, and I definitely feel that too. Like, it's one of those movies where, like, all the jokes and stuff that they were showing in the trailers, right? The ones that were kind of like, oh yeah, that's nice.
Yeah.
Right? And, you're like, well, hopefully the movie's not going to be all that.
Yeah.
And it wasn't all that,
no.
But it was a lot that.
Yeah.
And also, they don't really, like, the thing about Ghostbusters, like the first movie, second movie, right? They did a lot of explaining how they were doing what they were doing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? The concept behind trapping the ghosts and holding them, the concept behind the proton streams to ensnare the ghosts. this one actually, I guess, was technically more deserving of the name Ghostbusters because they actually just dissipated, destroyed the ghosts, right?
I guess they did in the end. They
trapped one ghost in that movie.
And then it killed...
Bill Murray, yeah. They trapped one ghost in that movie. The original Ghostbusters, they didn't so much bust the ghosts as sort of remove them from the area, right?
Well, if you consider being busted being arrested.
Okay, yeah, I guess, But I mean, like, at the same time, okay, so yeah, I guess if we're going by that, you know, like they're busting the ghosts as in you're fucking busted, you're nicked, book them, then, yeah.
I'm gonna take them.
You know, then in that case, the original movies were definitely more deserving of the title, whereas this one was not because they just kind of eliminate them.
Yeah.
Right? They don't arrest them, they don't, you know, so it's two different, I guess. So what I'm saying is there's actually no point to what I've just said because both are deserving of the title Ghostbusters, just in different senses.
Yeah. I had one friend who saw that movie like 6 times in theaters because she loved it so much, but I just couldn't bring myself to go.
I think the humor hits certain people.
Yeah. It wasn't bad.
But it absolutely was nowhere near the worst movie of the year.
Yeah.
Like, it just...
The effects were nice. I like the fact that for ghosts of actual human beings, they used people in LED'd up costumes, sort of faded into the fucking thing, and then added effects on top of them.
Yeah,
that was nice. That was well done. It didn't have the same kind of, you know, campy feel of like the miniatures and stop motion shit that they used for the original films, which those were fucking great. But the effects were decent, right?
I like the effects actually.
I just wish they had a better story to tack it on to.
I really like, actually, the look of the one that they did catch. I think that's one of my favorite parts of the movie.
The big fucking demonic thing that caught at the fucking
and it's
concert.
just on the chick's shoulders. She's like, I'm done.
I'm done.
I'm going.
Yeah.
Probably the best part of the movie.
Like, to be honest, that would be totally me if the same thing would happen. It's like, yeah, okay, I'm out, guys. See ya. I'm done. Fuck it. That's me. And they set it up for a sequel, which may never happen.
And it totally... I think it deserves the sequel. It doesn't deserve to have only made... It was like 350 worldwide that they made. Like, that's not good. They spent like 280 on it or something, but...
I would watch a sequel.
Yeah, I'd totally watch a sequel since they teased fucking Zool.
Yeah. Zool, motherfucker. Zool.
That's getting cut into this.
Okay. I'll provide you with the video file.
Excellent.
I call it the Nutcracker. Oh, because it crushes the ghost. No, it's for walnuts. Right. Huh. What is it? Did you get something?
Yeah, I heard something really weird. What's Zool?
Zool, motherfucker!
Zool! Yeah, moving on, I guess. That was a long one. Jason Bourne. Apparently there was another Jason Bourne movie starring Matt Damon.
Oh yeah, that happened.
And apparently it was terrible.
Do people still watch those?
The first 3 were good, and then they had Jeremy Renner.
I stopped after the second one.
Yeah. I mean, I liked the first 3 fine.
I liked the first one. I was okay on the second one.
There's 5 now.
5?
So 3 were the first trilogy.
Yeah.
That were good. Then they had this Jeremy Renner one that was like a prequel written by someone who didn't write the first 3.
It was sort of hinting that Jason Bourne was more of a code name. You know, Jeremy Renner was not Jason Bourne, but he was Jason Bourne.
Right.
Yeah. And then finally they're like, no, here's Jason Bourne. Here, you can have
Matt Damon's
back.
And,
yeah. I remember there was so much hype for that one too, because Matt Damon's like, yeah, I came back because the movie was good enough, and then everybody's like, no, man, it wasn't. Sorry.
Suicide Squad, obviously, big letdown. Again, not obviously like the most...
Still haven't seen it.
Yeah, me neither.
It was just a letdown. It was like, that was a thing.
I had the chance over Christmas. There was actually a copy of it sitting on the table. I think it was my mom's. She brought it along, and I never fucking watched it.
Is that movie out?
Yeah.
Oh.
I'm probably going to wait for it to hit Netflix, since it shouldn't be too long, and then I'll just fucking watch it that way.
Yeah.
Again, I had one friend who really, really loved that movie, but I couldn't bring myself to watch it.
I think it's totally worth a watch.
I still want to see it.
Yeah, I wasn't going to pay for it, though.
I still want to see it.
I think they could fix it with like a director's cut, because there's a lot of stuff that was cut out. I think, honestly, the best parts of the movie were Joker and Harley Quinn, and apparently a ton of Joker was cut out.
Yeah.
So
man, Jared Leto was pissed about that.
Yeah.
So much so that he's like, "Fuck doing the Joker."
Apparently, we got pizza. I just got charged for it.
What?
Splitwise.
Oh, that was a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a couple days ago or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah, I totally think that movie can be fixed a bit with a director's cut, but
I'll have to see it. I've been avoiding anything about it because, I still want to see it, and I still want to be at least somewhat, I don't know, surprised is the right word, but, I don't want to know too much about what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Miss Peregrine's Home for Peculiar Children.
I heard that was awesome.
Really? The book is fucking awesome.
Oh, I love the book, yeah.
The book is awesome. I'm about to read the next two.
Nice.
But the movie, it didn't capture it for me.
No?
It really didn't. I actually almost fell asleep in it, which isn't what should happen in that movie.
Yeah.
Kind of a letdown. Yeah, I don't know how it did in box office. I don't think it did very well.
I know 2 of my roommates went to see it, and neither of them had known that it was a book, and they both
really?
came out really liking it.
I can imagine if you didn't know it was the book, it might be better. But Assassin's Creed, terrible.
There was an Assassin's Creed movie?
Yeah, just came out.
Oh.
I'm not allowed to see it. I'm not. Seriously. Okay, so watching the trailer, right? And every time they do any of the Assassin's Creed style parkour type shit, I would be saying parkour, parkour, parkour.
See, what would probably happen in this movie is you'd be like, parkour, what? Because apparently every time he does stuff that's cool in the past, it cuts to him in this tank with like these robotic things doing like the stuff in the future.
So it takes you right out of it.
Yeah.
Terrible. But then there's like that big shot of him like leaping off the fucking tower or whatever, right? That they ended every fucking trailer for that movie with. And there's me. Parkour. So I was banned from seeing it. Sorry, Fassbender. I'm not going to see that movie.
We might have to split this into 2 videos because we spent about a full video talking about
Ghostbusters.
the crappy movies. Not just Ghostbusters. But next time we'll talk about the ones we liked.
Well, I mean, we already talked about one of the ones I liked.
A little bit.
Yeah,
That's fine.
We'll be back after this. There's nothing actually going there. Unless we can score like a sweet Loot Crate sponsorship or something.